Hey, folks, welcome to the Mike Lopez Show. I'm your host, ACMike. We'll bring you all things Atlantic City, politics, sports, dining, entertainment, and more. Our guests tonight are brothers, Mike and Nick Intrieri, developers and owners of North Beach Mini Golf. Then up next, we are with host of a true crime podcast, Tapes of the Dark Side, TZ Borden. And we'll close out today's show with Larry Sieg, president and CEO of Meet AC. So stick around. We'll be right back with our first guest. Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. I'm AC Mike. Welcome to the Mike Lopez Show. Here we are, Stockton University. So glad you're with us. Listen, we have a very special guest with us, two of them. Mike and Nick Intrieri, founders and developers of North Beach Mini Golf. Great project happening right now as we speak, and we taped this interview in the north end, the Inlet of Atlantic City. Mike, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. Feels good to be in the studio.
Sounds good. Good to have you here. Nick, wherever you're at, let folks know and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. So happy to be here. Thanks to Stockton for having us.
So there you go, folks. So let me give you a little background into the location where North Beach Mini Golf is going to be taking place sometime early summer 2022. When I say taking place, we'll be having clubs in hands and drinks in hands and walking on that beautiful boardwalk. If many folks are familiar with Atlantic City, the north end, the Inlet section, I want to say 2018, 17, over $35 million worth of boardwalk was put back together in that area with beautiful jetties. Many folks remember it as being washed out during Sandy when Al Roker, I'll put his name out there, said that the place was destroyed. Well, that part of the boardwalk was destroyed in 1944. And thanks to some hard work by former administrations, getting money, federal money and whatnot. It's beautiful out there. This is the home of North Beach Mini Golf. We're going to start here with you, Mike. Tell us a little bit, first of all, before we go into that, about yourself, and then we'll go to Nick.
Yeah, so, my brother and I, Nick, we're developers here in Atlantic City. We've been believing in Atlantic City for many years now. We started, I want to say about 5-6 years ago, developing in real estate. We started out purchasing some land, and we were able to kind of flip that for a little profit. And we kind of kept it rolling down here and purchased another property, invested in that, and we fixed it up, flipped that one as well. And then, as the momentum kept going, we developed a little bit more and more. We developed a couple STRs. And then, we kind of set our minds on the next thing, which is this project, North Beach Mini Golf. We wanted to take it up to, the next level and, bring a family fun entertainment to Atlantic City. And I don't know, Nick, if you want to add on anything to that.
So Nick, just introduce yourself again, please, a little bit about your background and then follow up on Mike.
No problem. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, Nick Intrieri, Mike's older brother, a little bit more experience. Just kidding. I think we grew up in Pennsylvania, and we would go to the Jersey Shore every summer. And, we did all the things you do at the Jersey Shore. We go to Atlantic City, Wildwood. So we knew about Atlantic City growing up. I went to college in Philadelphia, and we go to Atlantic City all the time and always loved it. But it wasn't until what Mike was saying 4 or 5 years ago, where we stayed there. I believe, Mike, we stayed with one of your friends like a July 4th weekend at a vacation rental. And we kind of had that idea, hey, and I was getting into real estate investing at the time, and and property value at the time in Atlantic City, and it's still, even after the real estate market went up the last couple of years, it's still very affordable, second home, even first home ownership. And we just kind of, fell in love. And I think at that point, we started to learn about all the other stuff that you can do outside the casinos. I remember thinking Atlantic City was just about the casinos, but then we discovered things like Little Water Distillery, Cafe 2825, all like the
Nice.
Oyster House, all like those. And I was like, I fell in love with it at that point. And I know Mike did too, in terms of all that other stuff and meeting folks that are locals, doing things that the tourists don't normally do. And there was like such a beautiful diversity in the city. So it had all the nightlife, it had all that, but it also had all these nooks and crannies. And we really took it to the next level in terms of what we thought about the city. And I think we became, and we still are today, very passionate developers of, building small businesses, showing that other side of Atlantic City. And we did that through our STR business. And we want to do that with our new venture, this North Beach Mini Golf.
So, and I appreciate you bringing it there. And we're going to touch a little bit more on the idea of North Beach Mini Golf and bike rentals before we hit into the design. The idea came, you seen this plot of land. It's a very interesting thing that two of you talk about the price and the availability for those of you folks out there going to be watching this when you're watching it. If you need something to invest in and some land, places to be is Atlantic City. You're not going to get beachfront property, the prices you're going to be getting right now. But that's another show. But Mike, we'll touch a little bit. I know you hit on it, but the idea, where it came from, because there were so many things going through, and knowing you a little bit as a friend and us guys talking the past year or so, you got all kinds of ideas, but this is one that stuck with you, and let us know about where that came from.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it at the beginning of the interview. The Inlet, where the location is in particular, is something that, we first noticed once they completed that new boardwalk, and just how beautiful the natural environment was, and Nick and I specifically remember we came down, for weekend Atlantic City. We were having a good time, a little business, a little pleasure as usual.
Oh yeah.
And we're walking down that boardwalk and just seeing how beautiful it was. I'm like, I can't believe, this boardwalk exists now. No one's developed,
Right.
There's 2-3 blocks right there. And that was an idea that kind of stuck in the back of the head. Now, the mini golf was something that kind of spawned a little bit after that. And we actually, Nick and I and a late friend of mine were coming out of casino or a bar right on the boardwalk, and we went and played mini golf, $1 a hole, classic, just having a good time, and then that stuck. And then a little while later, we were talking about our STR business. It's like, what's the next thing we really could do? And it kind of clicked. It's like the beautiful area in the Inlet. I'm like, how about a mini golf? It's a business. It's an idea that we could take,
It's a beautiful parcel of land. And like I said, what you did was incredible. What's going on right now up there. I would like for Nick to talk a little bit with the design, take us through a little bit, give creative. And as we're doing this interview, of course, there'll be, visuals up there, but give it to me, man. Tell me again, because I saw, as we speak, a couple of days ago, a beautiful video of a waterfall. So give us some of that. This is not no average Joe, as so to speak, mini golf. So go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, sure. So the design ended up being a 2-tiered concept, 18-hole course. It's going to have access to Euclid Avenue. That's the street that our address is technically, and the boardwalk.
Right.
And yeah, so we went through a number of different designs when we were first brainstorming what to do. And for various reasons, one of the things with mini golf, you got to have a certain amount of square footage to build an 18-hole course. And we just fell in love with that particular parcel because it was tied to a public park. And we just felt like the mini golf would go really, really well there. It was also interesting location where it didn't have public access already. It's like one of the only blocks in Atlantic City that didn't have a ramp and a stairway to the boardwalk. So we felt like, that element we built that into our course so we could get both people from the boardwalk and people from the street. So we landed
people from
on
Stockton University.
I'm
sorry to interrupt you. Yeah.
No problem.
I'm sorry, Nick.
No problem at all. And we just thought the 2-tiered concept was just kind of cool as well to play. You go up, you go down.
Right.
And when you go there, the views on that deck that we built are amazing. You're just a little bit off the casino, so you get the casino skyline, you get the Obsequian Lighthouse, and you just turn around and you get the Absecon Inlet, and you get a gorgeous view of the boardwalk, sunrises, sunsets on both sides. And we wanted to highlight that as part of the course. So the first 3 holes are actually on that deck, or will be on that deck. And you can get that part, a very Instagrammable course for all the Stockton University Instagram socialites out there. So we have that baked into the course as well. And, you know, we have a great mini golf designer. It's up from Florida. That's, like you mentioned, we're building a gorgeous water feature right in the middle. So you'll see a waterfall and a little bridge, and I believe one of the pictures that I sent over, you'll see that, and that's in the works right now. You know, I think we're really, really excited about it. You know, it's a project that's 100% happening. We are 100% going to open in May, and we're really looking forward to having folks from Stockton and the city, and anyone that comes to visit, come play.
Hey, listen, 25 to 30 million folks come to this city each and every year. We're going to be getting them out there. Listen, we're about out of time, guys. What we like to do here on the AC Mike Show, quickly, Mike, give a favorite, and we're going to have you back, definitely. We're going to be out there on the radio show, the TV show. Give a quick Atlantic City story that you like, and add something, whatever you want.
Well, yeah. First and foremost, follow North Beach Mini Golf
There
on
you go.
Insta. Go to northbeachminigolf.com. Favorite AC story is probably when I was 21, going in there for the first time. I think me, Nick, a couple of our real closest buddies, we were up all night till the sun came up, and we didn't sleep that night, and we just kept it rolling every single season after that.
There you go. So you're going to be seeing these sunrises now, too. That's one of my favorite spots to see them.
Exactly.
Nick, real quick to you.
Same story. I just add, I think we ended up at Tony's Baltimore Grill eating a plate of spaghetti at 5 a.m. So shout out to them being 24 hours.
I love it. I love it. Listen, one of our friends, Dave Damiani, sang a song. It's pure AC about Atlantic City. We're going to get him out there, but he also talks about Tony's Baltimore Grill in that song. Guys, listen, we're going to have you definitely back again. We're going to be doing some shows out there, some playing out there. Folks, North Beach Mini Golf, it's happening in Atlantic City. We want you to check it out. Make sure you go to those Insta and Facebook pages and get in your car or jitney and get out there and check it out, what's happening. So we really appreciate it. Mike, Nick, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thanks, Mike.
Folks, stay right where you're at. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Mike Lopez Show. So glad you're with us tonight. Hey, we got a special guest from Asheville, North Carolina. A friend of mine's been on the radio show a few times, and very, very interesting young man who's got a little investigative skills there. So, TZ, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming out.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
So, TZ Borden, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, your podcast, and Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, started a true crime podcast. It's called Tapes from the Dark Side, and it's a true crime investigative serialized podcast. So each season we tell a different story, anywhere from 3 to 10 episodes, or actually 9 episodes. And yeah, Mike was having me on today to talk about this last season. We just finished season 3, which is about a family annihilator from down in Florida named Don Spirit.
You have a video for us that we're going to check out. Tell us a little bit, discuss the video first with us before we show it, and give an explanation of it, please, would you?
Yeah, sure. So this is the trailer for season 3. And it goes into kind of explaining what happened in this crime, which is what really grabbed me was a 911 call that the perpetrator made after he had murdered his daughter and 6 grandchildren, which is a pretty unique crime. There's not many family annihilators that are grandparents. It might be one of the only ones in the United States. And in this episode or this season, this is for a trailer for episode 2, but in this season, we really try to break down exactly how the crime occurred, which is information that's not necessarily always given out on news. So we kind of try to go through exactly what happened and everything leading up to the circumstances that occurred. So that's what this trailer is about.
Let it roll.
Stippling is caused by unburned particles of gunpowder striking the skin. These cause pinpoint abrasions that are not burns, but almost a kind of tattoo, and in fact, stippling is also sometimes called tattooing. It cannot be wiped off and usually indicates a pistol firing from less than 1 to 2 feet away, meaning Don Spirit stood only a couple feet over Alana, facing her, perhaps making brief eye contact before extending his arm, pistol in hand, and squeezing the trigger, snuffing out a life that had barely had a chance at existence.
Hey, so thank you so much, Stockton crew, for playing that video for us. Very interesting. TZ, thank you for bringing that to us, to our attention. Folks, we'd love for you to make sure you check out episode 3, The House of Horrors. Awesome stuff. TZ, tell us where this passion came from. I know you touched about it in the early part of it. Tell us how it came to, and do a lot of work. When I say a lot of work, a lot goes into what you do.
Yeah, I've always had a passion for true crime, and I grew up watching, investigation, discovery, and cops, and unsolved mysteries, and all those kind of shows. And I would find myself kind of just researching cases that I was interested in, spending hours just reading Wikipedia and news articles and trying to find stuff that wasn't on the surface of these cases. And I was like thinking one day, like, well, why don't I try to tell these stories, So maybe there's a purpose for me wasting all my time doing this on my own. And that's kind of how it started just a couple years ago. Started just recording and using a lot of clips. That's kind of why we call it
Right.
Tapes from the Dark Side. We use a lot of clips from actual cases, interviews with police, news interviews, just anything we can find.
And and definitely, I know you're just joking there. Definitely not a waste of time, because there's families out there that something could arise from these podcasts, what you're doing, and again, the passion that I see in it when I look at these videos. We don't have a whole lot of time here, but we're going to call you back again, whether it be on radio or on TV here. TG, tell us a little bit about your tie to Jersey and this area where we're from, because we do a little AC thing, but again, 25 to 30 million people a year come here, so they're from all over the world. Talk to us, brother.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. It's kind of a coincidence that in this season, the main perpetrator of season 3, Don Spirit, he was from New Jersey and lived there for a while. So I'm familiar with some of the restrictions trying to get access to criminal records in New Jersey. It's kind of hard. It's easier in Florida, which is where he moved to. But personally, I have Uncle Chris Brown in New Jersey, and I would go up there every summer, visit my 3 cousins, his kids, and we'd go down to the boardwalk. We'd go to the beach. So I have real good memories of Sacco subs.
There you go. Right around the corner.
Yeah, Mentos, ice cream,
Right.
and just going, to the movies. And it was always we probably went there for at least a decade every summer consecutively growing up, and a lot of good memories.
Listen, it's an awesome place to live. I've been blessed to born in Philly and raised in the Pine Lands, not far from here. But then to have a career in law enforcement, 25 years working at the Department of Public Safety, fancy name for the jail. And that's where I met your Uncle Chris. And he was on the other end of, just like we're doing right now, we were doing video court. He happened to be the judge out there in Galloway, and I was taking care of bringing the client, so to speak, into talk. And great guy. But yeah, great area, man. We appreciate you coming. Listen, tell us a little bit more. We're going to post everything up when this interview comes out. Again, just letting folks know where they can find you, follow that podcast and whatnot, TZ.
Sure. So it's tapesfromthedarkside.com, or just in any podcast app. If you use Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just search Tapes from the Dark Side. It'll come up. The story we talked about today is season 3. The first episode's Annihilator. And right off the bat, we play the 911 call that, grabbed me and pushed me into looking up this case more. I think it'll grab you. If you hear that 911 call and you're not interested, then you've only wasted about a minute. But yeah, it's just Tapes from the Dark Side and season 3, Annihilator. And that's how you can find us.
We appreciate it. Listen, real quick though, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Do you ever have a sub from White House Subs?
I haven't yet. I've heard really good things,
Okay.
but I haven't yet.
So when you get that, we're going to ask which is better, Soccer's or White House, and we'll be okay with both. Maybe we'll have a couple we can sample when you get back down to up to, I should say, Jersey. Hey, folks, we've been talking with my man TZ Borden. Thank you so much coming from North Carolina. We appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Folks, stay right where you're at. We'll be right back. You hear? Stay there. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Mike Lopez Show. I'm your host, AC Mike. Listen, we have a very special guest here tonight, and he's a frequent visitor to the AC Mike Show on radio, WOND 1400 AM, 92.3 FM. Larry Sieg, President and CEO of Meet AC. Welcome to the show, Larry.
Hey, thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me.
Hey, so listen, let's let folks know a little bit about Larry Sieg before we get into the Meet AC meat and potatoes, so to speak. You've been in this industry for some time, Larry. Please tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
I have been in the tourism and hospitality industry in Atlantic City for probably over 30, 35 years. With my focus has generally or majorly been on leisure marketing. I was the vice president and director of marketing and communications under the Atlantic City Convention and Visitors Authority, as well as the CRDA, focusing on leisure. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to come over to the meetings and convention side, and so to take the ship over of Meet AC. So while I still work very closely with the CRDA, Karen Martin and her team in leisure, our primary focus at Meet AC, of course, is meetings and conventions.
So when you say some of those names you mentioned, Karen and whatnot, brings a smile to my face because I know the passion and the love that they have on that building and those folks and employees on Pennsylvania Avenue. So, Larry, I mean, you're one of the guys, again, this is not a knock on anybody who doesn't live in the 401, 48 blocks, and we could go on the nicknames. Larry, you live in the city, so you're here on the boardwalk, Pacific, Atlantic Avenue throughout and running through the city itself, whether it's the restaurants or bars or different activities. Tell us a little bit about what that's like. I mean, for you to be here on top of things and knowing what goes on, and then we'll get into the Meet AC two-part question, and you can roll into what a Meet AC is, its function.
Well, I mean, first of all, it gives me an opportunity to sell the destination through experience. I mean, there's no better way to sell a product or a service or whatever by experiencing it. So it's really important, I think, to live, work, eat, and play in the destination that you're trying to sell to people. And it's a much easier opportunity to change perceptions. As you know, we deal with perception issues in Atlantic City all the time. But once we get people here, once we show them the city, tour them around the destination, that perception has changed very quickly.
And so true when you say that. Me personally, sitting here, a local guy, Atlantic County guy, and retired from the Department of Public Safety, fancy name for the jail, about 10 years ago or so, and could have pretty much moved where I liked, not meaning grand houses or whatnot, but whether it be Ocean City, Avalon, Brigantine, Ventnor, it was here, Atlantic City, that I want to come to because, as you said, Larry, the diversity, the different, whether it's restaurants and the people, the ethnicity, and what we have here, it's unbelievable. So getting people here, but it's that stigma. And I think it goes back, and we weren't going to get into this. I think some of it goes back to some of the stuff in '64 and whatnot, but also Sandy, that storm when our friend Big Al was on the boardwalk saying that we were kind of underwater and we weren't.
Yeah, no, I mean, we definitely have, taken our challenges with the media on many, many occasions. But again, I think if we stay positive, we deliver a good product, then we're not going to have any problem, moving forward. And let's face it, we're still the second largest gaming destination in the country. Let's not forget that. And we've got what other gaming destinations do not have, and that's that beautiful beach and that beautiful ocean that you see in my background. We have some great events coming up in the first quarter, the second quarter, and throughout the year. But every piece of business that we bring into Atlantic City is driving money into restaurants, hotels, nightclubs, so forth. So,
And it's amazing what it does, bringing the people in. When you say that type of activity, Larry, we're talking 20, 30,000 at a time, or are we talking maybe 10 or so?
well, it depends. Like the boat show, for example, we're talking 40,000 people to come into the city. Impressions Expo is about 7,000 people. One of the meetings that we're really proud of this year that we're bringing in April 25th through the 28th is the network of offshore wind. As you know, offshore wind farms is a hot topic today. So we'll be bringing in about 2,000 of the top level individuals in that organization and in that industry. Another, again, about $1.6 million in economic impact. Anime Next is a show that we're really, really proud of. It's June 10th to the 12th. And I don't know, Michael, if you've seen in the past, but there are some very creative costumes walking around this city in cosplay. That brings about 30,000 people in and about $4.6 million in economic impact. One of the conventions that we have coming in this year that the team worked really, really, really hard on, and that was to land a once in a lifetime opportunity to bring the National NAACP convention to Atlantic City. That's going to take place from July 14th to the 21st. It's just about 11,000 people coming in, 7,700 room nights, and about $9.3 million in economic impact.
Amazing. And this will be the first time in Atlantic City for the National NAACP. Larry, we're about out of time for this one. Listen, that view behind you is beautiful. We love it.
Thank you.
I got this little view of our friends at the Steel Pier there, friends of Sharon and Anthony Cantanoso. What you do in Atlantic City, we appreciate. Listen, can't wait to have you back out on the show. We'll be doing more together. Last word to you, Larry.
I just want to thank you for all you do, and thank you for the support that you give the destination, because you're one of the greatest cheerleaders for it.
Thank you, sir, folks. Larry Sieg, Meet AC President and CEO. Say hey. Hey, folks, it's our belief here at the Mike Lopez Show that you, the viewers, and our guests bring the show to life. Thanks to each and every one of you for joining us. Special thanks to Stockton University and all our guests tonight. To learn more about ACMike, follow me on Facebook at Mike Lopez, ACMike, LiveWorkPlayAC, and on Instagram at ACMikeNJ. Folks, remember to always live, work, play AC. I'll see you on the 48.